Hello people of YouTube! Today we're covering the complete installation of the 46-inch Fawndale ceiling fan by Home Decorators Collection. If you found this video, you might be stuck in your own installation and you're looking for some help. We're here to do just that. We've already unpacked the fan. We're going to install it step by step all the way to turning it on. But if you want to fast forward, use the links below and those links will take you to each individual step of the process. That way you don't have to watch the whole video. Yeah, and if you like this video, you found it helpful, please click like and subscribe and that'll help other people find it as well. But before we get started, just a couple of notes. Please make sure your electricity is turned off at the breaker box and at the wall switch before beginning. If you don't feel comfortable working around electricity, please consult with a licensed electrician. And one other note is if you're hanging this fan where you just had a light fixture on your ceiling, you need to make sure that the outlet box is clearly marked acceptable for fan support. If not, you'll need to replace that before beginning. So just some quick notes about the fan. It is a dual mount fan, meaning that it could be hung on a standard flat ceiling with the included downrod, or it could be hung from a higher angled ceiling with an extension downrod that you'd purchase separately. The fan does have some quick fit installation features to make installation easier, like a slide-on mounting bracket, AccuArm blade arms with captive screws, and a twist and lock glass shade. That's all going to make the installation much easier. It does include a remote control. The remote control has a wall cradle for convenient storage when it's not in use, and the remote receiver has a quick connect wire harness plug that makes wiring to the fan much easier. One important note, if you're stuck and the fan's not working, the fan will not operate until this plug from the light kit pan is plugged into the plug at the base of the fan. That's going to complete the circuit, so if you've wired the fan and you're testing it and it's not working, that's why. So as you can see here, we've already unpacked the fan. We're just going to go over the parts to make sure we have everything before beginning, and that way we don't get stuck along the way. So first up, you have the slide-on mounting bracket. That comes pre-installed with the Canopy and the Canopy ring, and we'll show you in the first step how to remove that to get started. You have 5 reversible blades. You'll have 5 AccuArm blade arms with the captive screws. You'll have the LED module, the twist and lock glass shade, the motor collar cover, the light kit pan, the ball and downrod assembly, the fan motor. If installing this with an extension downrod, you'll have a bit of extension wiring. You have the hardware pack with the blade attachment screws, some plastic wire nuts, and the hanger and locking pin. And you also have the remote and receiver. Now as mentioned, the remote does have a wall cradle to hold it for convenient storage when not in use. And the battery is included. The receiver does have a quick connect wire harness plug that makes attaching it to the fan much easier. So just some tools we'll need for this easy project. It's a Phillips head screwdriver. You might need some wire cutters and strippers. We like to have a line voltage tester to make sure the wires aren't live before beginning. You'll need some electrical tape and of course a ladder. So we have everything here. We're ready to begin. Let's do this. The mounting bracket comes pre-assembled inside the canopy with the decorative ring attached. To begin, remove the decorative ring by twisting counterclockwise to expose the 2 screws at the base of the canopy. You'll notice an alignment post at the base of the canopy. You'll need to loosen but not remove the 2 screws in the base of the canopy, enough so that that alignment post can exit that hole. Once those 2 screws are loosened, you'll simply lift and twist the mounting bracket to remove it from the canopy. This fan features a slide-on mounting bracket for easy installation. The bracket has 2 keyhole slots that will align with the 2 screws in the outlet box. Simply align the slots of the mounting bracket with the screws in the outlet box and then slide to hold in place before tightening. This is just a demonstration. To install the mounting bracket, begin by using a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen but not remove the 2 screws in the outlet box. Next, feed the house supply lines through the mounting bracket and align the slots of the mounting bracket with the screws that were loosened in the outlet box. Then slide the mounting bracket into place. Then, use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten both of the outlet box screws and secure the mounting bracket. Make sure that both screws are completely tightened. Prepare the remote control by sliding the battery compartment cover off of the back of the remote control. If you have another remote control fan in the house, it's a good idea to change the dip switch settings in the remote and the receiver. You'll need to do this prior to wiring. You'll note the dip switches in the remote control. Use a small screwdriver or a pen to set the dip switches in the remote transmitter. There's also a light control switch in the battery compartment of the remote. This switch is labeled O and D. To disable the dimming function of the light kit, set the switch to O. To enable the dimming function, make sure the switch is set to D. If you change the dip switch settings in the handheld remote, you'll need to match those settings in the remote receiver. To do so, pull up the rubber cover to expose the dip switches, and then using a small tool, set the dip switches to match the handheld remote. You can set the dip switches to any combination as long as both the remote and the receiver have the same dip switch settings. Once the dip switches are set, replace the rubber plug on the receiver. Install the included battery according to the diagram inside the battery compartment. Replace the battery cover by sliding it onto the remote. Before attaching the downrod, you'll need to use a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen but not remove the two set screws located on the motor collar. Next, gently pull the green ground wire from inside the ball and downrod assembly. Then, place the canopy on the downrod so that the downrod exits the smallest hole of the canopy. Next, place the decorative ring on the downrod. Make sure the black side with the notches is facing towards the canopy. The last piece is the decorative motor collar cover. Slide that onto the downrod, making sure that the largest opening is facing towards the end of the downrod. Then gently feed the wires through the bottom of the downrod so that they exit through the ball portion. Gently pull the wires through until the downrod meets the motor collar. Align the holes with the bottom of the downrod with the holes in the motor collar at the top of the motor. Use the locking pin and hanger pin included in the hardware pack to secure the downrod to the motor collar. With the holes aligned in the downrod and the motor collar, gently insert the hanger pin through one hole of the motor collar so that it exits through the opposite side. Make sure not to jam the wires inside the downrod. Once the hanger pin is through the motor collar, secure it by placing the locking pin in the holes at the end of the hanger pin. Finish the downrod installation by securely tightening the two set screws in the motor collar using a Phillips head screwdriver. Before hanging the fan, it's important to note the slot in the ball that will engage the tab in the mounting bracket. When hanging, you'll insert the ball into the mounting bracket and then rotate the fan assembly until you feel the slot engage the tab. This is just a close-up demonstration. To hang the fan, lift the fan assembly up to the ceiling. Note the location of the slot that will align with the tab in the mounting bracket. Insert the ball into the mounting bracket and then rotate the entire fan assembly until you feel that tab engage the slot. The fan will drop into place when properly seated. You'll notice that one side of the receiver has the quick connect plug that will connect to the fan wiring. The other side of the receiver has two wires to connect to the house wiring. When installing the receiver, make sure the flat side of the receiver is facing towards the ceiling. Insert the receiver into the mounting bracket with the antenna side first, so that the receiver rests on the ball and downrod assembly. Begin wiring the fan by taking the plug from the fan wires and inserting that into the plug from the receiver. The connectors will simply snap together. Next, take the green wire from the ball and downrod assembly and twist that wire together with the green wire from the mounting bracket. Next, connect the green wires to the bare copper house wire. This is the ground connection. Finish the connection using a plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Next, take the white wire from the receiver and twist that wire together with the white wire from the house supply lines. These are the neutral connections. Twist those two wires together and finish the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Finish the wiring by taking the black wire from the receiver and connecting that wire to the black wire from the house supply lines. This is the power connection. Twist those two wires together and secure the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Once all the wire connections have been made, gently tuck the wires around the mounting bracket and into the outlet box to make room for the canopy to attach. The canopy attaches to the mounting bracket using 2 keyhole slots on either side of the canopy that will align with the 2 screws at the base of the mounting bracket. Align those holes with the screws in the mounting bracket and push the canopy up so the screws come through the keyhole slots, and then twist to hold the canopy in place. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten those screws and secure the canopy. You can tilt the fan to make extra room for the screwdriver to access the screws. Make sure both screws are completely tight. The decorative ring attaches to the canopy using 2 slots in the decorative ring that align with the 2 screws at the base of the canopy. Align those slots with the 2 screws and then push up and twist to lock the decorative ring in place. To assemble the blades, you'll need the bag of blade attachment screws from the hardware pack. The blade arms have 3 posts that will align with the 3 holes at the end of the blades. The blades are reversible, so choose the finish that you want and make sure that the opposite side is facing up. Then align the screw holes of the blade with the posts on the blade arm. Press the blade arm and the blades together, and then using a blade attachment screw, start 1 screw in each hole. Once all 3 screws are started, use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten all 3 screws. Repeat this process for the 4 remaining blades. Make sure all 3 screws in each blade are completely tightened. Remove the protective cardboard ring from the black bracket at the base of the fan. This fan includes AccuArm blade arms for easy installation. The alignment post of the blade arm will align with the long slot at the base of the motor. Simply insert the alignment post into the long slot at the base of the motor, and the 2 captive screws will automatically align with the 2 screw holes at the base of the motor. Completely tighten both of these screws using a Phillips head screwdriver. Repeat this process for the 4 remaining blade arms. It's a good idea to go back through each blade arm and make sure that each screw is completely tightened. The light kit pan attaches to the fan using 2 keyhole slots and 1 standard screw hole. Those will align with the 3 screws in the black bracket in the base of the motor. Begin by first removing and saving one of the 3 screws, and then loosen but do not remove the 2 remaining screws. Remove the twist tie holding the light wires together, and feed the light wire through the center hole of the light kit pan. Then align the 2 keyhole slots of the light kit pan with the 2 screws that were loosened in the black bracket at the base of the motor. Push up and twist to hold the light kit pan in place. Then use the screw that was removed and saved and insert that screw into the standard screw hole of the light kit pan and use a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten that screw. Once that screw is tightened, completely tighten the 2 remaining screws. Make sure all 3 screws are completely tight. Next, connect the molded adapter plug from the light kit to the plug from the fan by aligning the red arrows. Insert the plug from the fan into the plug from the light kit. The clip on the back will snap in place when properly connected. The LED light kit attaches to the fan in the same way, using 2 keyhole slots and 1 standard screw hole. These will align with the 3 screws in the light kit pan. Begin by first removing and saving 1 screw, and then loosening, but not removing, the 2 remaining screws in the light kit pan. Next, connect the LED module to the fan by inserting the plugs from the LED module into the wires from the fan. Connect the white wire from the LED module to the white wire from the fan, and the black wire from the LED module to the blue wire from the fan. The plugs will snap together when properly inserted. Once the wire connections are made, tuck the wires up into the light kit pan and align the keyhole slots of the light kit with the 2 screws that were loosened in the light kit pan. Press up and twist to engage those 2 screws. Then use the screw that was removed and saved and insert that into the standard screw hole of the light kit and completely tighten using a Phillips head screwdriver. Once that screw is completely tighten the 2 remaining screws in the light kit pan. Make sure all 3 screws are completely tight. The light shade uses a twist lock system to connect to the fan. There are 3 flat sides on the light shade that will align with the 3 nubs inside the light kit pan. Align the flat sides of the light shade with the 3 nubs in the light kit pan, then press the light shade up and twist clockwise until tight. This fan features a full function remote control. To turn the fan and light off at the same time, press the power button. The fan speed button will cycle through the fan's 3 speeds. Press once for high speed, twice for medium speed, 3 times for low speed, and another time to turn it off. Press the remote light button to turn the light on. Press it again to turn it off. Press and hold to cycle through the dimming. Release the button once the desired brightness is achieved. This fan features a 3-speed reversible motor. The reverse switch is located right above the light shade. Switch left creates a downward airflow for use in the hotter months to create a cooling effect. Switch right creates an upward airflow to pull warm air from the ceiling and draw it into the room during the cooler months. The factory default is for a downward airflow. Make sure the fan is off before attempting to reverse the fan's direction. To attach the wall cradle to the wall, begin by removing the screw cover by sliding it out of the wall cradle. Then choose a position on the wall where you'd like to store the remote when not in use. Use the included screws and a Phillips head screwdriver to attach the wall cradle to the wall. Make sure both screws are tight. You may want to use anchors that are also provided when attaching the wall cradle to the wall. Once the screws are tight, reinsert the screw cover into the slots of the wall cradle. Now the wall cradle is ready to hold the remote when not in use. Congratulations! Your ceiling fan installation is now complete. Time to sit back, relax with a nice tall beverage, and enjoy your new ceiling fan. As always, thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe down below, and that'll help other people find it as well. And as we always say around here, keep it breezy.